This is a Jaboticaba tree.
They're great for the patio. Flowers, even while it is loaded with fruit. This one's nice and soft. You have a seed in there that won't release all the flesh, but you'll have a good time sucking it. Spit out the seed, grab another one. Lots of vitamins in there. Delish.
So this is a Jaboticaba tree. It tends to be very popular among fruit growing enthusiasts in South Florida, and it's from Brazil. These trees will grow naturally on the riverbanks of the Amazon, and it makes these wild looking fruit that are kind of like a grape, but they grow right here on the trunk of the tree. And they taste similar to a grape, but with a lot more complexity to the flavor. These trees are easy to grow here, but they have their own little particular wants and desires, just like every other plant. So these are going to be needing acidic soil, so you can add sulfur to your potting mix to keep them happy. They like a lot of water. They don't like hard water, so if you've got either hard well water or chlorinated tap water, you're going to want to filter it. So we use a chlorine filter on our water that we water these guys with. And they're very slow growing. This particular tree that's fruiting is probably at least 7 or 8 years old, and this is a red hybrid Jaboticaba. There's different varieties. This one is definitely one of the most desirable ones. It fruits at about 5 to 6 years from seed, which is quick in the world of Jaboticaba. Some of them can take 10, 12, 15 years or even more to produce. So like I said, slow growing tree, but very rewarding, and they don't get too big. Easy to keep in a pot. This one's going to stay in this 65-gallon pot pretty much indefinitely. We got another big Jaboticaba. This is Sabra, which is a different variety. It takes a little bit longer to fruit. This one's maybe somewhere between 10 and 12 years old. Still hasn't produced yet. It was in a shady situation for a good while, and then we brought it out and repotted it, and put out a whole flush of new leaves, and it seems to be happy. So maybe we can spur it on to creating some fruit sometime soon. But you got to be patient with these trees. They definitely take a long time. They're beautiful to watch grow. They grow a lot of new leaves, but they don't gain size very quickly. Here's another little Sabra. It's putting on a bunch of new growth right now. It's regrowing its canopy. And if you come back here, you'll see all of our other little Jaboticabas that are growing up in the nursery. Here's a whole table full of red hybrids. And then we've got some white Jaboticaba. You can tell this one's got pretty different leaves, much larger leaves with like a texture to them. That one makes a white colored fruit. We've got the Grimmel Jaboticaba. We've got more little baby Sabras, and there's even more. We've got different varieties of Jaboticaba right here. There's one called Novak Phitrantha, named for Charles Novak, who discovered the hybrid. There's white Phitrantha, and we've got more Sabras. There's even some yellow Jaboticabas. An interesting one with fuzzy leaves. There's some blue Jaboticabas, and then there's more little Sabra variety. So here's a little tree that's probably about a year old, possibly a little bit longer than a year. These are just some little 4-inch pots, and in the next year or so these will get stepped up as they grow bigger, and they'll eventually make it out into the front nursery. A lot to be said about Jaboticabas, but it is definitely the collector's fruit tree. There are many varieties and shapes and sizes to collect, and each has their own unique characteristics and challenges to grow. I've got some more bigger ones over here that are almost at fruiting age. We could take a look. Another one right here that is at fruiting age, and you can see there's a little bit of flowers starting to come on. And this one's been fruiting for the past year and a half or so. This is a scarlet or escarlate. See the big leaves on that. This one is a very fast fruiting hybrid. These ones will even produce in maybe only 3 to 4 years from seed. So very sought after variety. And there's a whole couple of rows of them here in 7-gallon pots, and there's a bunch of red hybrids too. And this is our kind of secret stash that we're holding back here out of sight of nursery customers, and we're going to grow them up here until they're all at fruiting age, and then we're going to sell them for top dollar because everybody wants a Jaboticaba that's fruiting. Nobody wants to wait for it, so we're doing the waiting for you. Probably have to hold back a couple of these after they start fruiting just for the personal collection. So that's the perks of owning all these beautiful plants.
How old do you think mine is in my patio that's fruiting?
The one that you've got that's fruiting, it's probably around the same age as that first one we looked at. So it's got to be 7-8 years old. Yours might be a little bit younger. But yeah, I mean, for a 7-8-year-old tree, it's not that big. That one's 6.5 feet tall.
Yep.
Out of the pot.
Yeah, that's the same size as mine. Mine's in the ground though.
Yeah.
And trimmed. All right, cool. Thank you for that.
It's tight.